Hi everyone, it's Bob from Gecko Models. Welcome back to the channel. What we're doing here is doing a quick catch up on the Universal Carrier. It's a it's a great kit. I really can't say how good it is. It's really weird. Working in 1/16, it's a massive scale. It's huge parts. But anyway, enough of that old waffle. Let's get over to the bench and I'll show you where we are with it. Right, so we've got um, this section assembled. That's ready for installation into the hull. So just bring that over, and that's try and get it in so that we've got some light on it. How's that? Yeah, so we've got that installed in there. So the next bit is these other parts. So the battery box we've already got assembled, and these other parts that are here. I've got those all cut, prepped for paint, and then the next bit is to start on what I would term the rolling part. So what I've done so far is assembled the axle, and what I haven't done is actually added the wheels yet. The wheels are actually, or sprockets, I suppose you could call them. You should call them. So the parts are there. They're all ready for sort of assembly. And then the next bit is to assemble the suspension and these parts. Now I've got each of the parts, all the different springs, into these little tubs. You might have seen these little tubs. I know Jeff uses these, and if you go over to his channel, you'll see that he uses those quite a lot. So I've got all those parts all prepped, and we start maybe assembling. And I think I'll assemble this as one piece, and get the basic colours on, and then we can work on possibly weathering this before we assemble it. I'm not too sure, but then we'll get these all assembled. These almost like they're trucks, aren't they? And get those assembled in place. So we've got a whole raft of bits there, and I'm wondering whether or not when we get to this stage, before we put these on to the hull, to get the hull painted underside and get these all painted at that point. But that's where we are for the moment, and moving swiftly on, we'll go to the next bit. Okay, so I'm going through excuse me, I've been going through, got the assembly of that done, the rear axle, got that all done, and then I'm looking at these parts and sort of doing test fits and stuff. So I've got a set of the springs together, and then got this part together. Right, so I'll get these sorted out. Just hanging on to that on a bit of sprue there. So that's part number CD9, and this I think is CD8, or might even be CD10. Hold on, that's CD10. Yeah, so that's CD8. That's that one. That's CD7. And right, okay. Sorry about that, working off screen there. Yeah, so I left a bit of sprue with the numbers on there. So that's CD8, and that's CD7, and this is actually CD10, and CD9 should have pointy stick, should have a hole through there. Looking around the back here, it just seems to have almost like a sink mark there. So if we go back to this one, CD7, it's the sort of handed equivalent, if you like. As you can see, this has actually got a hole in it there and there, and that's where the pin goes through, CB6. That's a bit of a bugger. So what it means is I'll have to try and accurately drill out this hole. Now, to do that, I think the easiest way will probably be to center in there and drill that way, so that I've got this point in an accurate position. If I go from this side, the problem is I might drift off one way or the other and not get an accurate point. This is the accurate point. This is the point that has to be accurate, because that's the point where, when it's all put together, that's supposed to go through there, and the end of that, as indicated in these drawings, is supposed to stick to that pin and that pin. Bit of a shame, but I'll get on and do that, and then I'll come back to you. Right, so I drilled through there, and the trick to this is to ensure that when you're drilling through from this side, come back into shot, right, so when you're drilling in through this side, you've got to make sure that the drill is 90 degrees to the vertical line of that face, because that's where the vertical line, I'm gone out of shot again, haven't I? Right, so you've got to make sure it's 90 degrees to that vertical face, because that's where the springs are going to sit. And then the same when you're going in that way, to make sure it's 90 degrees again. So you've got to make sure it's absolutely sort of perpendicular to that face. And then when you drill that out, it comes out that side. And one of the things I noticed is that sort of mismold mark there is actually not in the right place. So if you come in from this side, you've got, the danger is that you'll go out of track, as I said. And then if I put the pin in, he says, right, there you go, so the pin goes in there, in that hole, yeah, in that hole, and it comes out that side. And if you look there, it's pretty much slap bang in the middle. So I'll do the other one, and then we can start putting all of this together. Excuse me. Well, I spent most of this morning having to tidy up on the desk or on the bench, because I just ended up with so much stuff going on. I needed to clear it. So I've moved everything away, put a load of stuff away that I kept out. You know what it's like when you've got bits of tools and things and whatever. Anyway, so I've got space here for the box for the universal carrier. This is where we are at the moment. We've got all the parts in there, and I'm going to work on weathering that and whatnot. I've got some bits there, the exhaust pipes, made those up, and over here in the spray booth, I've got a whole bunch of parts all waiting for paint. Yeah, it's all go, but it's all a little bit bit of a mess at the moment, but I'm going to clear up some more parts and get those ready for paint. So before I do that, I want to show you something. I've got a bit of an idea. Right, so I've gone through the instructions. As I said, we're putting the wheels together like this. I've got everything getting prepped for paint. So I've got forward on to looking at putting the tracks together and all of that sort of stuff, and preparing some of this stuff for assembly. And one of the things that I looked at, and I've got big glare on here, is this center console, if you like. It goes together like this, and you end up with this whole thing covering the engine. Now, given that the engine was actually quite cool, what I was looking at was removing these covers, and to do that I've got to put together this part like this, and work on how to modify it. So if I just move this out of the way, right, so this is a panel that I need a pointy stick. Right, so this has these like I don't know what you call them. They're almost like a quick release knob. So you'd undo those, and then you can slide this panel up so that the actual knobs themselves then line up with the holes, and you can pull that cover away and lift it out the way so you can get to the engine. So what I'm looking at is a couple of things. I'm doing lots of research on pictures. So what I'm looking at is actually fabricating this, and then on the inside, this piece of molding is to support the top, and it's not actually that accurate. I've got to look at what's there. I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that behind on the prototype, behind there, this section here, there's a supporting brace. In the middle there's another supporting brace, and on this side there is another supporting brace that holds these in place, and across the top there is another piece that actually holds that in place. So what I'd need to do is sort of fabricate the framework behind these, and then put these parts onto that framework, and then have these off of the frame as a loose panel. So what I'm doing at the moment is looking at scratch building the panels, which is fairly straightforward. I can do that, not a problem. The other thing that has to be done is these parts here will have to remain in place. So when that panel comes away, you have these 2 or 3, 4, 5 even of these sort of brackets that are raised from this bottom section. So I'm looking at that at the moment, looking at scratch building that. In the meantime, getting on with all the other bits and pieces and getting prepped. But that's my plan. So anyway, yeah, so that's where we are. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Watch this space, obviously, because I'm going to develop those covers, and I don't know where that's going, but you know, I've got an idea, but I don't know where that's going. But if you enjoyed it, like I say, thanks for coming along. Please like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. It's good for the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.